Hello and welcome back. Another episode of Yard Talk. Today we're going to do a little different format on the show, a little lighter. Last show we got into distracted driving. I think we're gonna have a fun show this time. Interview section with our fearless leader Ben. That's coming up. Actually, the intro song that you just heard was his band, or he was in the band, and hopefully he'll talk about that in his interview section. If he doesn't, then I'll get him to comment on it. So we're going to look ahead to that. Thanks for all the input, the suggestions. Keep them coming. We want to get fresh topics. We want to get this to where it's just like we're getting together, having a beverage, just conversing, just having a conversation, and bounce ideas off of one another. If we can keep it like that, we can keep it fresh. It'll be entertaining. I was contacted by a driver out of Springfield, and he wanted to express the importance of a pre-trip, what had happened. He actually sent me a video. Thanks, Jeff, by the way. I'm not going to put the video on here, obviously. We're just going to talk about it. But during his pre-trip, he found one of his airlines through the firewall. It had a small leak. He just kind of felt up there on the line, in which the line came off, which made a tremendous leak. It was a good thing he found it there, and he wanted to stress the importance of finding these things before you get on the road and have a road breakdown. Another driver out of Springfield, Sean, reached out to me and wanted to express his concern about yard rules with the speed limits and stop signs, especially he runs Indy, and where his sort down doors are, there's a stop at an intersection where the guard gate is, and around a corner that people blow this stop all the time. It's painted on the floor. It's like 6 feet. It's a huge stop sign. It's also a walkway, but his concern that someone's going to get injured at that. So that was a good point. Thanks for reaching out to me on that. Back here at the WC, Matt Schaffner approached me and said topic should be routine maintenance. Well, routine maintenance. Let's think about that. It's not letting our routine become stale and get dull, per se. I mean, I'll just ask the question, how often should we tweak or go back and look at our routine to make sure that we are really, really checking all the major points and going through each and every thing so we don't miss something on our pre-trip? Okay. I'm going to get to it now. While we're waiting for the segment with Ben's interview, I said I was going to make it light, so I'm going to tell a funny story on me when I was first hired. When I was first hired and being new to this company and not really understanding the language, we have slots for our mail. I finally got a slot, my mailbox per se, and I was coming in and there was a CD in there. I took the CD out and it said D-O-K. Well, in my mind, instead of seeing D-O-K, I thought it said dork. So I just threw it in the trash. The next day I came in, CD in my mailbox. I reached up there, looked at it. It said D-O-K. I read D-O-R-K and threw it in the trash. And the third day, our dispatcher, when I came in, he turned around in his chair and he said, "Hey, LaForce," he said, "what are you throwing? I've been digging this out of the trash, for 2 days. Take that and listen to it. It's D-O-K. I was like, D-O-K? What is that? I was reading dork. I thought somebody was playing a joke on me. He said, no. He said, it's depth of knowledge. He said, take it and listen to it. Well, that's a funny on me. So hopefully some people can actually tell some funny stories on themselves. Without further ado, let's get to it. The man of the hour. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not actually an hour show. So the man of the 30-minute or less spot, our interview with, please introduce yourself and tell us how you're in the current position that you're in.
Hey, my name is Ben Schmer. I'm an on-road soup in West Carrollton. I've been with the company for 18 years now. I started out in Sharonville as a small sorter, worked my way up into part-time and then full-time management. Was asked if I wanted to come into feeders. I said yes. Was asked if I wanted to go on road. I said yes. And here I am. So
I know a person in your position, you get to travel quite a bit to go to other hubs. Is there anything in particular that sets West Carrollton apart from all the other hubs?
yes, it's a good mix of having a driver group that it's large enough to have everybody engaged and essentially know each other, but it's small enough to where you don't get lost in the quote unquote big city dispatch where you got hundreds of drivers coming in and out. There can actually be relationships formed between drivers, some good, some bad, but anyway, about it, word gets out quick, and we use that to our advantage.
I know there's no normal work day for you, but could you walk us through what a normal work day for you consists of?
Essentially, I'll come in and I'll have to go through my dozens of emails, see if customers need any help with pickups, see if there's any issues from the previous night, which I'll then review with Jared. And then also I get with McAllister and the committee to see what help they need for safety meetings. And then obviously I do the ride. So safety ride obviously is the main reason why on-road soups are here in the first place. So I make sure that, not just I go over the methods with the drivers, but that they have any questions for me that they ask. So I want to make sure that I'm here for them 24/7 if they got any questions. If I don't have an answer right away, I'll get back with them. And I think they know that if I don't know it right away.
How big of a role does mental preparedness and attitude have or reflect on a workday?
Being prepared is everything, because if you get caught off guard, that's the highest chance that an accident or injury will happen. So I'm sure you guys know if I have to change your dispatch where you have to go to a different location than you normally would go, normally you're not too happy. And I get it, because you have a routine, you've got a process you go through. And if you're not prepared for it or you get a curveball, that's when something happens. Same thing with different equipment. If I change your tractor up on you, or you're taking a set where you normally don't, or a long box and you normally don't, that can change a lot. So being mentally prepared for anything throughout the workday is probably the most important.
Any suggestions for future episodes?
Basically, I want this to keep going the way it's going. You, Doug, have done a great job in getting everyone involved, and I understand not everybody wants to be, and that's fine, but I encourage everybody to be involved at all. This is supposed to be fun and get legitimate safety tips, and that's why it's here. So, all right, that's all I got. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to interview you and to pick your brain a little bit and give us all a little bit of insight of what goes through an on-road soups day. There is no normal day. There can't be a normal day. But anyway, hey, I got to tell you, I really think that maybe music has influenced you in your life. I play music. I love music. So that's why I started this show with a song of a band that you were in, and I'm going to end it. But could you shed a little light maybe on how music has influenced you?
Mainly I like music, so I've been going to concerts and stuff as far back as I can remember. I think my first concert was Rush when I was 14. I was standing on a chair. I was too short to be able to see over, and eventually the security guard came over and made me sit down, and I was all sad about it. But then during intermission, they came by and gave me one of Neil Peart's drum sticks, which was cool. It was all chopped up, so he had just used it, and I still have that today. And also I play music, so I don't play out too much anymore, but I play bass guitar. I've played in cover bands since I was 18, mostly playing, some rock, some dance music. I've been in a few original bands as well. Don't do it too much anymore, but whenever I get the chance, I like to play, and maybe I'll get back out there again and play some weddings or something at some point.
Ben, you're being a little bit too modest. Let's hear some of that sweet bass run.
Say what you want to, don't need a reason. Say what you want to, don't need a reason. Say what you want to, don't need a reason. Say what you want to, don't need a reason.
Ben, there again, thanks again for your time. And I do appreciate you backing this, reaching out to different people that I may not be able to reach out to, and supporting this. So, hey, better things are to come. And we're going to crank this thing up. We're going to play some music in here. We're going to get to know one another. We're just going to have fun. And we're all going to learn from one another. Wow, what a great interview. Speaking of interviews, I just want to remind everybody it's wide open here, folks. We can do it over the phone, in person. Everybody's opinion matter. That's what this forum is about. Or if you have a concern, share a concern. We can even do it without using your name. It'd be fine. Give us something to talk about. But at any rate, speaking of musicians, we have another musician in our crew, Alex, our number one driver. He's been playing music for years and years. I should be a little intimidated by using this platform, being in presence of someone that has done television in the past. Now, there's rumors going around, and I wish that he would really settle it. Maybe he can settle it by letting me talk about this on the show, and I won't give it away or anything, but I would ask him the question. There's rumors that he was Magnum PI's stunt double. Now, this is back in the day. This is back when Magnum was Magnum. I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but, hey, maybe we can find out. Well, with that out of the way, we'll move on to other things. We have a little segment here with Jared's interview, and we will go to that now. Well, what can I say? He's a little shy. He'll eventually start talking, and when he does, we'll be there. We'll capture what he says. He has some great input to put into this as well. He's a smart young man, and I think that he's really going to go someplace in this company. Well, that's about all I've got for this one, so I guess I'm going to start to wrap things up. Like to leave you with something to ponder on, maybe a subject that we can get into more depth on. What's the feeling on the electronic logs? I know they're not going anywhere, but true feelings on this. I mean, I can remember back years ago being on paper. In my personal opinion, the electronic logs, especially for a road driver, in my opinion, is that it's pushing way too much out of a driver. And sometimes if you're not really feeling it, you're pushed. You're on that time all the time. You cannot stop, your brakes. It's still eating that clock away, which the old rules used to were, if you had a sleeper or whatever, you could, but that doesn't apply to us anyway. But I'm just kind of curious what your ideas were on that. If you think the electronics are actually causing an issue instead of making it a safer roadways. Well, until next time, I'm your host, Doug LaForce. This is Yard Talk. Stay safe.